40 a kilo, calling 6040.
Whiskey, one whiskey there, QSL.
One whiskey, lovely. Very good.
Back again. This is Fran M6YIK here, and today we're just going to have a little bit of a radio rant. Nothing special. Like I say, I thought that I'd do a video of me actually talking about ham radio instead of just showing contacts and things. Like I say, my name's Fran. I'm 34-year-old and I live on the northeast part of the UK in a little town called Seaham, 25 miles south of Newcastle and about 25 miles north of Middlesbrough there, slap bang in the middle. And my location's about a mile away from the coast, and I'm about 95 feet above sea level, about a 5-10 minute walk to the beach, you know. But I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a rundown on the background, on the antenna systems, what I've used, what hasn't worked, what has worked, you know, what got us into the hobby, things like that. But yeah, I say I started back when I was about 11-year-old, probably around about 1998 or something like that. My older brother Stu, he used to have CB radios, and back in the day when he used to go out with his friends, I used to sneak in his room and switch it on and be listening, and I was just fascinated from the start, you know. And I decided, I saved up me paper round money, and I got myself a little CB radio. And actually my first antenna was actually a homebrew antenna that I made myself. Didn't work very well, you know, but I'd done it, and I was getting a few contacts around my local area, and it stemmed from there. I went and got another CB radio. Then I ended up getting an SSB radio for 27 megs, and I got myself a Sirio 827 and put it on the chimney pot, and by the time I was 14, 15, I was working a lot of stations on the 555 and things. And that's what got me into the hobby, you know. It just grabbed me interest, and from then I always had a radio, and like I say, it went from there, and it was all the way till 2015, 2016, because I used to live in Spain. I moved to Tenerife for quite a number of years, about 5 years or so. A bit of family problems and things, so I moved. My parents were living in Tenerife at the time, so I went over and stayed over there for. It was only supposed to be in a short stay, but ended up getting a job there and working there for about 5 years. But done no radio over there. Come back, and one of the guys who I used to get a lot of my radios off, when I come back, was a big shock. He found out he had cancer, and it hit us, you know. He was a really good friend of mine, and that's who basically really did get us into the radios. And he always said to us, "You need to go in for your license. Go in for your license, man. You'll not regret it. You'll love it." And I always said, I said, "No, I'm not really bothered about the amateurs, like I say, the ham side of it, like getting a license and everything." I really, like I say, at the time, I didn't really know much about HF and things like that, and 2 meters and things. So yeah, I got another radio as soon as I come back from Spain. I got myself on the air, and unfortunately 3 months later, like I say, my friend, he passed away. And it's, you know, it stuck in my head all the time, saying him, telling us, get your license, get your license, get your license. And it was only when I moved property and moved next to another friend, and he just passed his license not long before that. And he encouraged us a little bit more. He says, "Get yourself in for it, you know. You'll fly through it. You'll pass it, no problem at all." Pushed us a little bit. I thought, right, I'll bite the bullet. I'll sit my exam and I'll see where I can get, and hopefully, you know, I can pass it. So I put in for my test. We went to the radio club. I put in for my test. 2 weeks later. Like 2 or 3 weeks later, I went and sat it. Half an hour before I went to the club, my friend who was giving us a lift to the radio club, M6 OSD, Scott, yeah, he says, "Do you want to read the book?" He says, "Have you got a foundation book?" I says, "Nope." I haven't. He says, blimey, he says, here, he's there, you read the book while we're on the way to the club. I read the book for 20 minutes on the way to the club, and I got 2 questions wrong. I passed no problem at all, and I couldn't believe that I'd never even read the book. But like I say, from experience, just off being on the radios for a number of years and things, and messing around with antennas, it probably have got us through that exam. So like I say, I passed. That was in August 2018, and my funds were tight at the time. So I went out and I bought my first HF radio, which was the Klansman PRC 320. What a fantastic radio. I loved every minute of owning that radio and wish I never parted with it in the end. Very, very fantastic audio from them, and just the nostalgia of using it, you know, just turning the dials, no meters on it, no fancy screens, no nothing. And I was away down the beach, portable, and first couple of weeks, I think I had 400 or 500 contacts, just going to the beach every other day and working from there. And like I say, it grabbed me interest a lot more, and I thought I'd just go out and get a bigger radio and a better antenna. So I made my own dipole and started with a 20 meter dipole. Had that up for a little bit, then made myself a 20 meter quarter wave vertical, which I've still got today, works perfectly. I used them a few times, which work quite well. Like I say, I had the dipole horizontal. Fortunate for me, I've got a back garden which is 35 feet long, and I've got a front garden which is about 15 feet long as well. So I just run it straight from I put a big 9 meter pole up from the back of the bottom of the garden and ran it horizontal all the way across to my front garden, and it worked very well. Next antenna I got was a half wave end fed for 40 meters, a monoband one. I think it was from UK Antennas. Fantastic antenna, very good antenna. I love that as well. But unfortunately, I took a portable one day and I put it up in a tree, and it was about 20 feet up in the air, and the wind caught it and it come down and smashed into loads of bits. So that was an antenna lost and a lesson learned. But yeah, then I moved from the end fed to a G4YKB delta loop, which I didn't really find quite good at the time. RX, it was brilliant, but transmit, it just seemed to be very poor. Might have been my location, you know. I tried it at different heights and it seemed to be better only a few feet off the ground, but it wasn't getting what I wanted to get. So I parted with the delta loop and I got myself a cobweb. Put the cobweb up around about 16-17 feet at the time, and wow, what a difference. The band's come alive, 20 meters come alive, 17 meters come alive. I started to get a lot more contacts, and then like I say, I thought to myself, well, how can I improve my station at home, you know, with getting me low power, me 10 watts, how can I get my signal out a lot better and receive a lot better and just be heard, you know? And like I say, I've done a lot of research and I've come up with a solution that it had to be a beam antenna, you know. So I was going to buy myself a hex beam, had one in the process of picking it up and everything, and just as I was looking around doing more research, I found that the Cushcraft MA5B mini beam just suited my needs very well. You know, I didn't want to upset my neighbours and things like that, but beforehand, before I bought it, I went and knocked on either side and I asked them, I says, look, I know I've got that antenna up, have you any objections for us to put a new antenna up? And they just said, no problem at all, you know, your house, you do what you want. And you know, I went with it, got myself the beam and put it up. Like I say, it's up temporarily, up at about 8 meters at the moment, and wow, the difference was incredible. You know, obviously you've got to point it to, you know, to where you want it, and like I say, wow, the difference was just incredible. Normally, like I say, at 10 watts before on a dipole, you know, you would give a few shouts and they would come back with like low reports, 5x4, 5x5. You might have to repeat your name a few times, and you know how the story goes. But with the beam, it's like, you know, mostly local, like Europe stations and things like that, like Slovenia, Poland and Belgium and things. Fresh out, in, boom, no problem at all. And it just makes the hobby a lot more interesting, you know, because I've got a good friend there who doesn't live too far away from me. He's only an M7 station as well, just like I say, a foundation license holder. He hasn't got a big antenna up, you know. He is actually using a long wire at the moment. Shout out to Mick, M7D AD. And like I say, he's not having problems, but he's just, you know, he's not getting what he wants. He has got a few other antennas that he does need to put up, you know, which will be a lot better. But at the moment, he needs to get a few things sorted out and things. But he is getting a little bit disheartened at the hobby, you know, with shouting at these contacts, and they're just not coming back. You know, they're giving him a good 5.9 signal. He's picking them up good. He's receiving them brilliant. But he's shouting them and shouting at them and shouting them. He's just not getting any reply, you know. He's struggling very much on that long wire antenna, and he does know that he you know, it isn't the most efficient antenna to use. But like I say, he's just has to find the time and everything. He works, and he just needs to find the time to get his antenna up. But he's persevering, and that's what it is about. When you are, like I say, a low power station, foundation license holder, it's all about persevering. You know, you could shout, like I say, last night I worked at a USA station. I was beaming long path. He was in Georgia, and it took me 40 minutes to get a contact with him, because unfortunately you had a lot more stations shouting with a lot more power than us. 1 kilowatt, 700 watts, 7 element Yagis, 5 element Yagis, up at 20 meters high, you know. And this is what some people don't realize. Like I say, when you're running a low power station and you're not using a very efficient antenna, you are going to struggle, you know, depending on your location and things. But persevere, keep giving them a shout, keep giving them a shout. And like I say, if it doesn't get you anywhere, then try a different orientation of your antenna. If that's, like I say, if you've got a dipole up, change the direction, turn it up if you can. Some people can't, but get out in the back garden, try something new, experiment. That's what it's all about. That's how I'm learning things, you know, all the time. Just keep trying different things, tune into a station and try and keep them there. Go out, try and tinker, do a few things, you know, move it a little bit, try and get it up a few feet higher, whatever it takes, you know, and see what works for you guys. But like I say, this was just a quick, well, 15-minute video just on the background on my just on me workings and things, you know. I thought I'd just share it with you. I haven't really done any talks or anything like that, so I thought I'd let you guys in. But anyway, if you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed. It just pushes us a little bit more to do some extra videos, and gives us a little bit of a kick up the backside there, and gets us motivated. But thank you for watching, and until next time, 73.